Triple H may be one of the most underrated performers in wrestling history. Now I might be a little bit biased because he is my favourite wrestler of all time. He has been around for over 20 years, starting as the spoiled rich character into the game, and now corporate Triple H, and the guy who hopefully take over WWE in the near future. Hello and welcome to Superstar Ratings. Before we start, please make sure to like, share and pile driver that subscription button. Today we look at the game, the King of Kings, the cerebral assassin, Triple H. In Superstar Ratings we will take 10 aspects of a WWE superstar and rate them out of 10, equaling a total of 100. These aspects are moveset, finisher, selling, character or gimmick, promos, entrance, physique, athleticism, classic matches, and finally, credibility. Let's begin with moveset. Triple H has a wide moveset, and one of the main things he's really good at is working the limbs of his opponents, working the leg or the arm. I feel he does that much better than most people today. I think that's the thing that he really relies on now in his late 40s, early 50s, is what because it's nothing too out there, but it's great wrestling. Of course, he has the amazing spine buster, which I believe he took from Arn Anderson. Does the high knee. His clothesline is great, especially his one he did against Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. He took the figure 4 leg lock from another one of his inspirations, his favourite wrestler of all time, Ric Flair. And he also used the crossface. After Chris Benoit's, the tragedy of Chris Benoit, he started using the crossface along with Shawn Michaels for some reason. So for all that, I'm going to give Triple H a 10 out of 10 for that one. Finisher. Triple H only has one finisher which he uses, which is the pedigree, which is one of the best finishers of all time in my opinion, up there with the RKO. Looks so slick every time, and he can do it even when injured. When he got injured in New Year's Revolution match in 2007, he still managed to hit the pedigree even with one quad. One time he did it on someone, I believe in 1996, and the guy didn't know how to take the pedigree and decided I thought it was a pile driver. So he went head first on him and I think he broke his neck. Yeah, that's the pedigree gone wrong. But it still looked good though. Probably not for the guy taking it, but should have learned how to take move. Anyway, 10 out of 10 for that one. Selling. It's sad that on November 2nd, 2018, the turnbuckle sell that Triple H does may have been retired. We'll see in June in his match with Randy Orton, see if it hasn't, but considering he got injured on that last time, I doubt he'll want to be doing that again. And he didn't do it at WrestleMania, and he always does that in every one of his matches. It's a sad day that was, because that turnbuckle sell is one of the best sells in wrestling. Triple H is very good at overselling as well. If you ever seen the video of the dark match after Raw with Triple H and Shawn Michaels against Ric Flair and I believe Randy Orton, Randy did a kick to Triple H's face as Triple H was coming down off the top rope, and Triple H did a 3-minute sell job where it looked like he was falling over, and then Shawn would do like the air motions to keep him up, and Triple H said, "No, I'm fine now." Walks 2 steps, does the Ric Flair flop. Brilliant moment. And I think Triple H can really make you invested into a match with his selling as well, which is why I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10 for this as well. Character and gimmick. Triple H can play the conquering hero, and he can also play the evil, cowardly villain. I think he can play both very well there. He's the badass theme song, an entrance for a hero. He also has this, the smarmy smile of a cowardly villain, which I think works really well for him. Is why he succeeded so much. So I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10 for that. Promos. Triple H has I know it's going to be weird to say, but a great voice for a promo, because his voice has got more gruff over the years, and I think that's always great for a good face promo. It's like a big hype promo. As we saw with his Batista one recently in their feud, I just think he has such a great voice for a promo. But sometimes as a heel 4/8 figure, his promos can drag a bit, so I'm only going to give him a 9 for that, because sometimes they do drag. But I think he does have a great voice for it. Entrance. All you need to look at is any of Triple H's WrestleMania entrants in the past 10 years, and you know he has a badass entrance. It doesn't hurt to have Motorhead as your theme song, with the game and King of Kings, and when he was in Evolution they had Line in the Sand. So he's always had a great theme song. But his WrestleMania entrances, he'll show up on a bike, or he'll have the throne, which he had at WrestleMania 22 and 30. At 30 he had the golden one. So he always has a great entrance. He had the Terminator entrance at WrestleMania 31. It's always a spectacle. Some people hate it, I love it. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Physique. All you need to look at is one photo of Triple H. I know he slimmed down a bit in 2007 after his second quad injury. Lost a bit of his muscle mass. But over the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 years, he's definitely grown it back, but not to a point where it was, injury prone, like he was in mid 2000s. But I believe he now, like The Rock does like midnight workouts. He's always posting about that, and he's gotten into ridiculous shape. So I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10. Athleticism. Triple H is pretty much 50 years old now, and he can still put on 30 plus minute matches and still look good during it. I know a lot of people hated the Batista match at WrestleMania, but go screw yourselves, I loved it. I thought it was a great match. Huge fan of Triple H still, and I love seeing him wrestle, and I can't wait for him to continue wrestling for years to come. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 for this. Great matches. Speaking of great matches, Triple H had multiple great matches in his career. One I go back to is SummerSlam 2002 against Shawn Michaels, and that great feud they had over those 3 years. Of course he had the WrestleMania 20 main event with Benoit and Shawn as well. WrestleMania 30, he had an amazing open, one of the best WrestleMania openers of all time against Daniel Bryan. He had a great feud with Brock Lesnar as well. They had their match at SummerSlam 2012, they then had their Extreme Rules match at WrestleMania 29, and then at Extreme Rules they had the Steel Cage match, which was one of the best matches I've ever seen. Speaking of one of the best matches I've seen, WrestleMania 28 in Hell in a Cell against The Undertaker, with Shawn Michaels as the referee. The best streak match of all time. That moment when Shawn hit the Sweet music on Undertaker into the pedigree, genuinely, even now, I think that's the end of the match, even though I know it's not. Very good match. And also Triple H has the distinction for the first match the match that got me into wrestling, really. WrestleMania 22 against John Cena. Not as good as I remember it being, but that's the match that really got me into wrestling. So for all those classic matches, and he's still putting on great matches, I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10. Credibility. Triple H has won 5 Intercontinental Championships, 2 European Championships, 2 Tag Team Championships, 5 World Heavyweight Championships, and 9 WWE Championships. 2-time Royal Rumble winner in 2002 and 2016, Grand Slam winner, and he won the 1997 King of the Ring. And just this year he got put in the Hall of Fame as a member of DX, and because he's in the Hall of Fame, I can give him a 10 out of 10, and that's what I'm going to do. 10 out of 10 for Triple H. So overall, Triple H takes the top spot over Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle got 94 out of 100, but Triple H gets a ridiculous 95 out of 100. Absolutely crazy. As I said, one of my favourites of all time. I don't get all the hate for him. It just seems like hate for hate's sake. It's like why people hate Nickelback, because they're told to hate them, so they just hate them. Because it seems that no one can think for themselves in 2019. That's a rant for another time. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.